record the session and we can get started. So I want to start with a quick introduction. My name is Greg Manny. I'm the Senior Manager for Selection and Global Outreach for the RISE program, and I'm excited here to invite two RISE winners to present a bit about themselves. So I'm going to ask Emanuela and Fatima each to come off mute and just say who you are, where you're from, where you're currently studying. Are you in high school? Are you in university? And what interests you have, and maybe how you heard about RISE. So Emanuela, we'll start with you. Would you mind doing an introduction? Fatima, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Fatma. I'm from Egypt. I'm studying in Northwest University in US. I'm studying material science. So, yeah, I heard about RISE by there's like another winner from 2021 in my school, my high school. So I heard from her about RISE program. Then the next year I applied to RISE. Then I'm now RISE winner for 2022.
Great. Thank you so much, Fatima. And we're going to be hearing a bit more from the RISE winners throughout the session. But first, I want to go ahead and give some background into the program and how things work here at RISE, the opportunities and the benefits, and how you apply. So first and foremost, talk a little bit about what RISE is and our founding. RISE is a program that finds promising young people and provides them opportunity to use their talents for social impact throughout their lifetime. The idea is that we want to find youth who are talented, and talent takes many forms, and enable them to use that talent to solve some of society's most pressing challenges. Our program is actually a joint initiative. It is partly run by Schmidt Futures and partly run by the Rhodes Trust. For those of you who are not aware, Schmidt Futures is Eric and Wendy Schmidt's philanthropy, located with its home base in New York City. And then the Rhodes Trust is based in Oxford University and runs one of the most well-known and prestigious scholarship programs in the world, the Rhodes Scholarship. And so we work together on this collaboration to find promising young talent and provide opportunity for that talent in the future. Our ideas obviously stem from not just locating individuals like Fatima, who you'll hear from more today, and potentially as well Emanuela and Adnor, but also working with them in the form of a network, connecting them to other people who are also doing interesting work in order to solve problems, and inspiring them and providing them with advice and resources so that they can grow and develop, level themselves up, and in the future use their talents to solve these problems that we face today. That's really the vision of RISE, is building this network and interconnecting this network with those of Schmidt Futures and the Rhodes Trust. So what makes RISE really different and special and unique from other programs like it is that we are a global community. We are not just a program that operates in the United States or just in the Northern Hemisphere. We operate all over the world. We invite everyone from every country between the ages of 15 and 17 to participate in our community. And we have created a system that is inherently beneficial for all those who participate. Everyone who participates receives a variety of different benefits, and I'll discuss some of those in more detail in a moment when we talk about the benefits for everyone that applies. But the idea is that just by participating in RISE, by joining the program and participating in the program, you will grow and develop as an individual. You will hear about opportunities from our partners, and you will understand ways to use your talents and develop your talents for social impact. And then the other thing that's very important for RISE and makes us different from other programs like ours is that we're trying to identify talent in innovative ways. In our process, which we'll talk more about as well, we don't ask you to submit grades. We don't ask you to submit standardized test scores from national exams or exams like the SAT. Instead, we identify youth through a project-based learning experience, the RISE Challenge. We identify youth through logic and reasoning games and quizzes that we offer. We identify youth through peer feedback mechanisms. We don't really find talent in traditional ways, and we look for talent in many forms that it takes. It's not just about STEM or about science and engineering or about developing an app, but we invite artists, we invite interdisciplinary thinkers, we invite youth with all kinds of backgrounds to participate in our program, and believe that they will gain benefit just by being part of the RISE community, and being interconnected with other young people who are interested in using their talents for good. So for all of those RISE applicants who participate and register for the program, which you'll be able to do during this session if you haven't already, you can join our global community. You can become part of our Discord community where you can engage in conversations in a variety of different areas. You can get feedback from peers on the work that you're doing. You can talk about sports or gastronomy or culture or arts or different school subjects. It's really an incredible community that we host different events for, like the one we have today, or workshops that we run through our selection team. You also gain access to free resources and opportunities from our partners. So we have over 60 partners around the world who offer scholarships, internships, opportunities, competitions. And so we post those in our Discord, in the announcement section, in the opportunity section, so that you can hear about not just RISE, but all other programs in different parts of the world who are offering chances for you to develop your talents and to use them to have a positive impact in your community. And then you also will get to experience a project-based learning design initiative through the RISE Challenge. And so you'll think about a project, you'll do research, you'll plan, you'll act, you'll reflect, and we'll talk more about the steps of the project in and of itself, but you're going to get to learn a lot just through the participation in the program, not only about opportunities and what's going on in the world and connecting with others, but about yourself, and about what you want to do in the future, and about your passions, and about how to use those passions to help others in your community or in your town or your city, or maybe even across the world. I want to invite now a couple of the winners, assuming they have stable connections, to, if they can, come on video, but if not, Adnor, can you, or Emanuela, can you speak a little bit to what it was like to be an applicant in the RISE process? So Emanuela, since you were able to come off onto video there, if you don't mind doing a quick introduction of just who you are, where you are, what you're studying, how you heard about RISE, and a little bit about what it was like to be an applicant. We'll talk more about what it's like to be a winner in a moment. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Greg. Hi, everyone. My name is Emanuela. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm a current RISE Global winner from the cohort of 2022 winners. I would say that applying to RISE was definitely a very exciting experience for me. As an applicant, I was initially very, scared and anxious, just like many of you might be today. But the process was made very, easy for me, because instead of the traditional applications where you have to write long essays, we were submitting our applications via video essays, and that way I was able to express myself in a way that I didn't have to write those long essays. So essentially, during the RISE application process, I would say that I was at ease over time, because of just how different it was from every other program that I've applied to. So I'm definitely very, very happy that I took it upon myself to apply to this program, because of all the benefits and things and people I've met so far in this program.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Manuela, for that insight and context. And so just by being an applicant, Manuela talks a little bit about some of the opportunities that she had and the video forward application process, which we'll detail further. But there are also amazing benefits if you are named a winner, which and Emanuela, Adnor, and Fatima all are part of our winner community. And so they were able to attend one of our residential summits for the first year winners. That was held in South Africa, and I'll talk more about that experience. And for this past year, it was held in the United Kingdom. They also receive opportunities for needs-based scholarships for their higher education. They receive potential funding for innovative ideas, and we are hosting our first kind of grants competition for the winners to receive $5,000, $10,000, and $25,000 grants for ideas that they have as RISE winners to help the world. And then we also provide them access to our networks through the Schmidt Futures and the Rhodes Trust, a technology package, so a computer in this case for most of them, if not a tablet, and then also mentorship, professional guidance, and career services as they move through their experiences. So Adnor, since you've come on camera, I would like to invite you to talk a little bit about, well, one, to provide an introduction, if you don't mind. So just who you are, where you're from, maybe how you heard about Rise, and then a little bit about what it's like to be a winner. You don't have to talk specifically yet about your project, but just what experiences you've had so far as a winner.
Hello everyone, I am Adanur from Turkey. I'm a year 2 Rise winner, and I think it's been 3 months since we went to Residential Summit. I will say the best part of becoming a Rise Global winner was joining a global community. And when Rise says a global community, they really mean it. Because before Rise, of course, I had a couple of friends, maybe from neighboring countries. Maybe I met them through other summer programs, but with Rise, I got to meet amazing people like Emanuela, like Fatima, and a lot of other friends. And I heard Rise from a year 1 winner who was from my school, and she graduated last year. She became a Rise winner in the first year. Her name was Karen. She is in Stanford right now, and she prompted me to apply. And I took the chance, I guess, and I was lucky to be named as a global winner.
Awesome. Yes, and Karen's doing great things now at Stanford. She's one of our year winners from year 1. And so the Residential Summit was, I think, a really transformative experience, I assume, for all of you. And so I'd really love to hear, if you all wouldn't mind, we'll start with you, Fatima. Just what was your favorite part of Residential? What was one thing that stood out to you, or one person you met? Just any small story you might want to share, and then we'll hear from Emanuela and Adnor as well.
Okay. Okay, Residential Summit is like unique experience for me because it's like the first flight outside Egypt. So Residential Summit, I think the favorite part for me is capstone project and faith group. Capstone project is like working on project to solve like a specific problem or challenge. So I think this was like communicate with the people around me, with like work on group, work like to solve problem. This was special and like unique experience. So I think this was the favorite part for me. And also I can't imagine first, I could imagine like if we can make friends not from the same country and not have the same culture, but I now have like Vernier is like my bestie, as the Manida is she's like winner from India, but we can like say that we are very she's like my bestie, as like my best friend, because we can Rise Residential Summit made us like communicate with each other and make like friends. You can make like friends to be best friends is like very special. So I think Residential Summit make like unique experience because it like make us communicate with each other like sleep in the same place and work with each other and go outside with each other. So this is like special. So I think Residential Summit is all the Residential Summit, all over the Residential Summit is special. But for me, is the most special something is like the unique experience is capstone project. Yeah.
Awesome. So the friends you made, the unique experiences, the faith group, and the capstone projects. And as Fatima mentioned, so for the year 2 winners, they got to work on capstone projects, trying to solve different issues in different areas using different types of talents, but working in groups as opposed to working on it individually, and working alongside some experts that we had visit the summit while we were in the United Kingdom. So Adnor, do you want to talk maybe about something that stood out to you that was your favorite part of the Residential Summit?
I think 2 things were my favorite things. The first one is we kind of joked this among each other during the summit, but summit indeed brought the best of each other's. So we indeed brought the best of each other. And anyone who was shy in the beginning just became the most social person just at the end of the first day. Like we landed at London. We took our luggage, and then we went to the dorm that we were going to stay, and everyone was already best friends, and everyone was greeting each other, everyone was hugging each other, but we didn't meet before that. Everyone just so friendly, and I think I love all of them so much. And the second thing that I liked the most was union days. So in the second year, we had union days, like Middle East, North Africa was a different union, and Asia was a different union. And I am part of two of the unions, Middle East, North Africa, and Asian Union, and I got to taste Chinese food for the first time. And it was such a funny day, and it was such a bonding day as well. I liked the Chinese food so much. It was my first time, and I hope it won't be my last time.
Yes, this is great. And I think I wanted to move the slide one or two, and I'll ask Emanuela to speak a little bit about this, but the residential is the moment where I think the global community really gets to come to life. And it's something that's also one of the benefits about RISE that's highlighted here in the slide just by the data to back up kind of what the winners are saying about how diverse the community is. But we have 3 cohorts of winners. You applicants who are on this call today, you're a part of the potential 4th cohort of winners. And those 300 winners come from 70 countries. They speak 60 languages. And just the 2023 cohort represents 43 countries speaking 27 languages. Emanuela, I want to give you the chance, though. Did you want to mention anything specific about the global community, or about maybe somebody you spoke to, or somewhere you went during the residential that stood out to you?
Yeah, thank you very much, Greg. I think the open mic night really stood out to me. Hearing people's ideas and just people speak about like what they were passionate about really stood out to me the most. I think the last open mic night we had stood out to me the most because I think I was able to choreograph a Nigerian dance, and bring it to like my fellow African friends as well as other non-Africans there as well. So being able to share my culture with other people really made me appreciate my culture even more and appreciate the culture of others. So open mic night definitely stood out to me. Second thing I would say is the networking events. I really learned how to network better because before the summit, I wouldn't say I was reserved or anything, but I didn't really know how to network that well. But the multiple networking events we had enabled me to improve my communication skills, and also helped me to improve my interpersonal skills in terms of like how I relate with other people. So I really, really love that part of the summit.
Amazing. Yeah. And as a facilitator, it was really cool to watch the growth that all the winners had, and being more comfortable in some of those spaces. You know, many of the winners, some of them, like Fatima mentioned, they hadn't been on a plane before. They hadn't been in some of these types of places before. And to watch them meet new people and experience new foods, in the case of Adnor, like Chinese food, or new people or new opportunities. It's really about growth and development for all the youth who are participating. And that's for the winners, of course, with these benefits, but also for everybody who's participating in the program through the Discord and through the project-based learning challenge that we offer. And so just to kind of wrap the section on benefits here, a list of some of the universities where, and this is definitely not all of the universities, just some of them, where current RISE winners are studying. And it's not that RISE winners have to go specifically to the US or the UK. You'll see universities here from New Zealand and Brazil and Hong Kong represented, that are some of the top schools in each of those countries and each of those regions. But then, of course, also places like Stanford, which has many RISE winners, and MIT and Yale and Oxford, of course, where the Rhodes Trust is based. And so how do you apply must be what many of you are thinking who are out there. And there's Adnor in the picture, right after the picture that had Karen right before. So lots of fun references there. First and foremost, you have to be between the ages of 15 and 17. So really important to just note the birthdays born between July 2nd, 2006 and July 1st of 2009. And then you're going to go through the challenge process, which involves registration, filling out a profile, so telling us about yourself, completing the project, which we'll break down in a moment, and then participating in some quizzes and games, completing those, and then doing peer reviews of other projects from the network. So just for a little background on the RISE project, there are 3 main phases. So first you'll do focus and research, then you'll do design and plan, and then you'll do act and reflect. And along each step of the way, you'll learn through those experiences. But I think the best way to hear a little bit more about the RISE project is to hear some examples from the winners and to have them present about their experience, maybe as applicants, and maybe any advice that they may have and what they did. So we'll have Fatima and then Adenor and then Emanuela talk through each of their individual slides here. So Fatima, over to you.
Okay, so my RISE project is like my RISE project. I worked on this project before applying to RISE. My RISE project is like more about capture carbon dioxide and climate change crisis. So okay, and the first, when I worked in this project, I like started from the application. So application take us by step, so you can like make project with the application. So in the first, we're like thinking about the most big challenge now is like climate change. So I started thinking about how can we solve that, how can we start with that, how can like end that, what's the big problem, what's the big like that causes this climate change. So I started like think more about how we can like end this crisis. So after that, like say the carbon dioxide is the big problem, is then I after that think so we can start by capture carbon dioxide, or we can like work on transportation. There's carbon dioxide get out from transportation, from like making electricity, from different something. So I tried like in my project to focus on the specific part, not like so we know like carbon dioxide go out from many things, but I tried to focus on transportation, because like transportation is like I think it causes like 27% from the emission of carbon dioxide. So when I focus on transportation, focus more like, so we can like solve this problem by many different ways. We can like replace that using the foil, like we can use different foil, we can use like hydrogen, like many people say, and we can like use electricity, we can like use different things. But in first I imagine like if we try to make different cars or different transportation, this will make like, how can replace all the cars that we have now? This will be like difficult to replace all the cars that we have now. So I say like we need to not to change the foil, or until now we can't change the foil. We need like capture the carbon dioxide that go out. So I focus on this part more. So I know that like replace the foil with electricity or like hydrogen is not bad, but not now. I think will not work now because like make hydrogen you need to like burn, and make like electricity also you need to burn. So this will be make like another problem, but not in transportation, like in different part. So I focus on capture carbon dioxide by using like the chemical equation. Like we have acid and base, so we can by using this like chemistry to like capture carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is acid, and I use base to capture this carbon dioxide that go out from cars. So this is my project. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fatima. And what are you studying at Northwestern? Do you have a favorite class so far?
Yeah. So in Northwestern I studied material science, so this is very related to my project. So, yeah. So I try now to work on my project in Northwestern with many professors. Yeah.
Oh, great. So you continue your project work even at Northwestern.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you so much.
There's a question in the chat, Greg, for Fatima. Did you make the machine yourself?
Oh, until now I didn't make the machine. I worked on projects by myself, but I didn't make the machine. I still like make simple prototype, is like not like the machine or the device that will be in the car. It's like some prototype to test what will happen when we bring the paste with the acid, is like with the carbon dioxide, what will happen in car. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, and from here we'll pass to Adenor. So Adenor, please talk us through your project and any other background here from your slide.
Okay, my project was designing a digital dictionary that voices important phrases for hearing impaired. My project, I actually got inspired from my brother, who happens to be a year 3 winner this year. He was talking about the project for visual impaired, and I think that project was from, I'm not so sure, but it was from a country in West Africa. It was something like implanting. It was like something like implanting color detectors to the color detectors for hospitals for visual impaired. And I thought about, well, this is really great, but how can I make it maybe for hearing impaired? Because in my community, I'm from southeastern Turkey. I'm from southeastern Turkey. I'm from a minority. I'm a Kurdish. So we don't have our own sign language. And I thought about, well, we don't have our sign language, but we have a huge amount of hearing impaired people. So how can I maybe offer something that will help them in their communication? So my idea actually got inspired from a project that was done from a different part of the world and my own experiences and my own community's experiences. So I kind of combined all of this. And I thought about, since many people can't afford hearing aids since they are too expensive, I went to the field and I talked with the hearing impaired school in my city, and we kind of devised a project together, and then we named it Techno Here. I was Techno Here. Then I got help from a couple of my juniors from my school who helped me with coding the mobile app and website. Then I thought, since I got too involved in the field, I started seeing the patterns that it wasn't just about fully communication, but those people are not included in our society. And they feel it every day, every minute, every second. They feel different, but we need to do something for this because we do have the power. So since I was also interacting with kids a lot, I want to make Techno Here not just a digital dictionary, but an initiative, so that once maybe many people can contribute to that. So I made it an initiative. I was the founder and chairman. Then I found the vice chairman. I found many more people than I expected, and they just wanted to join the cause, I guess. And we started giving robotics education because I was in my school's robotics team for 2 years. So we started giving robotics lessons to those kids, and I'm telling you, they are the most brilliant kids when they are given the chance. They were even helping us, professionals. We are professionals in robotics in FRC, but they were even helping us when we were stuck. So then we kind of expanded that. And for project, I will say there is not a single formula to do a project and become a finalist and become a winner, because all of us are done different projects. I remember I know quite of my friend from my other finalist friends' projects. I know my brother's project and my project. All of us are so different because because we get inspired from different aspects of our life, of our community that we are part of, or aspirations in the future. I want to study mathematics. So for my project, I also incorporated mathematics education for hearing impaired children. So the only thing I can say that don't feel that your project is not like others, so it won't get accepted. Just do something that you truly feel passionate about, and that you truly feel that will help your community. I will say that will be my best advice.
Awesome. Great advice, Adnor. Thank you so much for that, and for sharing a bit more about the project that you did. And so last but not least, over to you, Emanuela, with your experience and any advice that you might have.
Thank you very much, Greg. Just building up on what Adnor said, passion is definitely a very integral part of your RISE journey. And that is what actually helped me discover what I wanted to do for my project. So the title or the name of my project is Code Ed. And essentially it's a program that I started in Nigeria. And what we do is that we basically imbibe computer science education and coding education in public schools around Nigeria. And the reason why I started this organization was because I identified the problem in my community, which was the fact that there was inadequate computer science education in Nigerian public schools compared to private schools. And I was able to actually verify that by doing research, going out to do field research, surveying people, doing external research. So that's also something that I advise you to do as you're going on with your RISE project. In CodeEd, we did bi-weekly classes, or I did bi-weekly classes with students, teaching them things about app development, web development. I also provided training programs for the teachers because I wanted to ensure continuity of this program so that even if I'm not, in a certain place at that certain time, I would know that, yes, CodeEd is still going on and impacting people in that environment. We also provided career tracks sessions because there were lots of these students who didn't really know what they wanted to do in the future. So CodeEd was able to direct them to, actually know what they wanted to do in the future. And one of the most integral parts of CodeEd was the fact that we're able to provide internship opportunities for these students. So it's very important, especially if you're going into the field of technology, to have field experience and actually know what the field is like before entering it. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to not just teach theoretical comp sci, but we actually wanted them to practicalize it in the field of computer science. So I think that an advice I would give to prospective RISE winners or finalists is to really pursue something that you're passionate about, because even after you win, if you win, you still have to go on with this, project of yours. If I didn't win RISE, I would have still had the drive and passion to continue CodeEd because it's something that I'm passionate about. So just like Adenor said, you need to find something you're passionate about and don't think about copying other people's idea. Just do something that will drive you to actually continue the projects. Yeah. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Manuela. Thank you for sharing that. And that research component is definitely a key one. As I mentioned before, just to show some of the earlier slide here, there are the 3 stages of the project. And so that research piece that Emanuela highlighted is a really important way to get started. It helps you to think about what is the data out there? What are the ideas that already exist? What do I need to understand and to learn in order to design and plan something? And then once you've designed and made a plan, then you can act on those plans to the best of your ability. I know there were some chats and questions in the chat about being able to pay to do the project or complete the project because of the resources you have in your setting. And it's okay if you're not able to fund the whole idea. It can be partly theoretical, as was the case, I think, Fatima, for you, right? Was you had an idea, but you didn't necessarily you weren't able to build every piece of it, but you explained your thinking, you explained the way you would go about it. And it's important because RISE is working to identify talented youth. We're not saying this is the only project you will ever do for the rest of your life. We're not investing in just the project. We're investing in the human beings. And so you are the human beings. The project is just a way for you to show how you would go about making an impact using the talents and resources at your disposal. So just wanted to reiterate some of the points made there by the winners, and then cover a couple of frequently asked questions. Do we look at grades? No, we do not ask for the transcript. Part of the RISE project, but we do ask for evidence. So keep that in mind. You want to collect as best you can. If you do research, collect and show your work, show your ideas as much as possible. Submitting photos, submitting other materials is always a good idea. Can you submit group projects? Yes, you can work on things and receive support. Adenor talked about having some support from some of the other students in her school. That's totally fine, but you apply as an individual. you don't apply as a group. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to talk about what your contributions to the project were. Was it your ideas? Was it your coding? Was it your building? Was it your artwork? What did you contribute there? And then another question we receive a lot is, can you submit an application in another language? And so the answer to that is no, because our programming is all done in English. We ask that all the submissions are done in English, and the finalist days, the interview days are also conducted in English. And so on that point of finalist days, here are the important dates to know. The challenge deadline is January 17th. So you need to submit your project. I highly suggest that you submit it well before that day. The last day every year, we receive many requests for extensions because of a technology problem or an internet outage, and we do not make exceptions for these scenarios. So I highly recommend that you submit your project in January before the day of the deadline, just to make sure everything is uploaded correctly. And then you'll have to complete the peer review by the 31st. You can do that sooner. So if you submit your project in early January, you can complete the peer review earlier as well. But if you submit obviously at the end, then you'll have until the 31st to do the peer review. But that's the only piece of the project that, or the challenge, I should say, that extends past the 17th. We'll be naming the finalists sometime in April, and we will be asking you to participate in finalist days, in interviews, between May and June of 2024. And then we will announce the next cohort of winners in September of 2024, the year that is almost upon us as we head into December. So those are the important dates to know. Please, if you haven't done so already, I'm sure many of you already have, but if you have not, take this opportunity right now to scan the QR code on this slide, and that will allow you to register for the RISE Challenge and start your application. So please feel free to go ahead and do that here on this lovely picture of the RISE winners from cohort 2. I believe this is at 10 Downing Street. This is at maybe the office of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I'm pretty sure that's where this is from. Oh, is it from somewhere else? Where is this from, Fatima? Oh, this is year 1. Yeah, I'm realizing that now. This is year 1. This is a picture from South Africa. So I made a mistake. I was in the last one. I should have known better. There. This is from year 1 too. The South Africa picture. So with that, we've come to the end of this presentation, but we will stay on for another 5-10 minutes here to answer questions that have come into the Q&A or through the chat box. So please feel free to submit those, and we will do our best to answer them. One question we have here is, what distinguishes winners from finalists? In order to become a winner, you have to first become a finalist. So you apply, that's the beginning of the application, I should say you register, you complete the challenge, so then you become an applicant. After that, you can be invited to become a finalist, which we'll announce in April. And then once you become a finalist, you'll participate in an interview day. Actually, I want to pass it over to the winners here. Would any of you mind talking about what it was like to be a finalist? Did you participate in the RISE interview? What was that like? Does one of you want to share?
I think maybe I can share, if it's okay.
Sure.
I actually heard I became a finalist. I mean, I heard the announcement from my other finalist friend, who unfortunately couldn't make it to winner cohort, but she called me and she was like, Ada, Rice emailed, and I think Rice emailed at 9 p.m. for us. So I checked it, and I think I screamed. I didn't expect to become a finalist. Like, no, I didn't even think of becoming a winner. Becoming a winner became my passion after that. And I think the thing was that I was quite anxious for my finalist day. I was being so anxious. I was like, oh, will they like me? Will I talk maybe intelligently? Will I like interest them? I was like worrying about many things, and during that time my English skills wasn't that great. English weren't that great as well. So I was also worrying about that. I was worrying about not maybe being too social. But then I joined the finals day on 18th June. I still remember the day, and it was, I think, the highlight of my summer. Everyone was so friendly, and everyone was so enthusiastic, and everyone was so natural. We first gave our like we did presentations. We talked with a lot of friends, and I actually didn't remember, but Ayush from our year reminded me that we actually did two things, games together, something like that. I didn't remember him. He was like, Ada, I remember you. I remember the joke you made there. So I think it is such a great thing that we both became a winner, then we became really close friends. I think this is all. I actually just really like how the natural the finalist day was, and how the Rise team was so willing to make us feel at ease, and maybe at home, I can even say.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing there, Adenor. Did anybody else want to share something they remembered from finalist days around the activities potentially, or anything like that? I actually think one thing that was interesting, Adenor, that you said, and that I'd be curious, Fatima, and Adenor specifically, your language skills. Do you feel Rise helped you improve your English from being part of the program? I see a lot of head nodding.
Totally, yes.
Great. Yes, I know language is a big question for a lot of people. And so I very much encourage applicants who English is not their first language to think about Rise not only as an opportunity to develop their talents around social impact, but also on language, because you get to practice your English as part of the experience. There are a lot of questions in the Q&A today, and we're not going to be able to get to all of them, but a couple others that I think are interesting here. Are social-oriented projects more favorable than more technical projects? Think that it's not so much about being socially oriented as impactful. Like, we want the project to demonstrate how you would benefit society in some way. And it doesn't need to be society like super grand, like, you know, the whole world. It can be local. It can be something in your school. It can be something in your city. It can be something in your neighborhood. It can be global. It can be something that impacts your whole country or the world at large. But it doesn't have to be necessarily socially oriented versus technical. They're not mutually exclusive. Something can be very technical and still have an impact for positive. I think Fatima's project strikes me as one that is more technical in nature, and Manuela is a little bit more socially oriented, but with still a STEM bend to it. And again, it doesn't have to be STEM. It can be something that you do in the arts. It can be something that you do that's an interdisciplinary approach. But if it helps people access education, if it helps people have a better understanding, if it helps people it helps improve global health in some way, those are just some areas. If it helps improve climate change in some way, that's impact. And that can be done through something technical or through something artistic or something more abstract. So it's really up to you to think about the project and what you do well in that case. Does Rise value continuing your project? Yes, but as I mentioned before, I would say the project is a tool for assessment. It's not an investment in just a project. It's an investment in the human being behind the project, and all the other pieces that you do with the Rise Challenge, the quizzes and the games and the peer reviews and everything else. It's another thing we use in order to assess your talents. And there's a question here about letters of recommendation for Rise winners in their college application. We don't write specific letters of recommendation, but we do have Rise winners put Rise obviously in their college application, and we do provide them with need-based financial support, which is really important for allowing them to study. And many universities have come to know us and are admitting our students, very selective, very well-known, prestigious universities are admitting our students at high rates because they know that they're Rise winners and they have need-based support and that they have great ideas and that they're looking to make a social impact. So just some questions there that I've seen so far. One question: what is the main goal of the Winners program? What does it mean to serve others? I think that for us, it's about providing resources with to the winners so that they are able to think about social impact in their careers and in the future and integrate it into their passions and what they want to study. I don't know if anybody, Emanuela or Fatima or Adnor, want to talk about kind of what is being a winner had an impact for you when it comes to service, or what inspires you around service? Why are you interested in it? Or how has Rise been a piece of that?
Chip in on that. I think that I've always been interested in service and everything, but Rise has given me the opportunity to, actually implement that in my community, because I was always thinking about doing co-ed ever since, but I didn't really know how to, go about the implementation. So just, being part of the Rise community now and being able to speak to other Rise winners who are also very service oriented has definitely pushed me beyond my limits, especially during the Rise Residential Summit. I was able to collaborate with other Rise winners about more projects and even expand my project coded now, which is not just working in public schools, but also working in schools for the visually impaired. And I was able to get this idea from other service-oriented winners. So being in the Rise community has definitely expanded, my horizons and has helped me to think outside of the box. I think that's something that you definitely benefit from. You won't just be thinking about your own ideas, but you also be getting inputs from 99 other Rise winners. So I really think that that's something that you can benefit from being a Rise winner.
Excellent. Thank you, Emanuela. And there's questions here about peer review. Peer review allows you to see other projects. It requires you to actually look at other projects and give feedback on those projects. And it's a way for you to learn more about other interests of other Rise community members in our community. And so that's an important piece of the process, is that you review other projects, learn about your project as a result of doing those reviews. Somebody asked, Adnor, did you apply more than once? Or I don't know, Fatima or Emanuela, did you apply more than once? Earlier, I mentioned to somebody that you can apply more than once. If you don't get it the first year, you can apply the next year, assuming you're still age eligible. And we highly recommend you do it, because many winners actually don't make it the first year and then they make it the next year. So Adnor, do you want to talk about that experience?
Yes, I am the living proof of that thing. I applied first year because my Karen was let's apply together, but I didn't even make it to finalists, let alone I wasn't even in the first 500, but next year I became a winner. So I think the experience was that I matured a lot and I saw what I did wrong, I guess. And also for the second year, I was more passionate. Yeah, that's the other thing. I was more passionate. And because I was, it will be my last time to apply because I was going to be of age to apply if I didn't get in the second year as well, since I am already 18. So I think that was another thing, I was kind of anxious. So I know there are a couple of applicants who think of this way, if I don't get accepted in the first year, then they will know that I applied first year and maybe that will lower my chance of being admitted, but that's not true at all. Many or in our cohort as well reapplied, and I will say maybe it was for the best that I didn't get in the first year, because I got to become more mature, and I also got to start a project that was essentially really beneficial for my community, and I was able to learn from that experience. And I feel since I had the different mindset, I was also able to get the best out of the residential as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Adnor. Just a couple of reminders here, because there's been a lot of questions about deadlines. The deadline is January 17th to submit the project. After that, we will name the finalists in April. And then once you're named a finalist, your interviews will be held in May and June. And then the winners for the fourth cohort of Rise 2024 will be announced in September. So those are just the dates and the process, just re-outlining that again. The deadline for the physical project is January 17th, and then the peer review you have until January 31st. And remember that in order to be a completed challenge, you must peer review other projects. It's a requirement in order to complete the full Rise challenge. Somebody asked, what do you get from being a finalist? You get the opportunity to interview to become a Rise Global winner. And there are other opportunities that we often offer only to finalists, different benefits and different opportunities sometimes that we open to finalists each year. That changes. But that's another thing about Rise, is like the idea is that you're unlocking benefits as you go through the program. I think that covers most of the questions that we haven't answered already. We've answered many of these a lot of different times. So with that, I want to say thank you to Fatima, Adenor, and Manuela. I think we'll take this last 5 minutes and I'll just give them one more chance. Do you want to just give a final thought, final piece of advice, final highlight, anything exciting that's going on that you want to tell the 140, 150, I don't know how many people are still on the call, folks who are with us today to hear about your experiences with Rise? We'll start with Fatima on this one. So Fatima, you look excited to give a final thought. Are you ready to give a final thought?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Fatima, you, and then Emanuela, and then we'll sign off with Adenor.
Okay. In the first, I want to say, like, okay, guys, you can apply, you can like trust in yourself, you can do that. It's not easy, but you can. I mean, in first, I feel like I'm very afraid to apply. I feel like in first I can be finalist, but I can't imagine that I can be winner. This is so crazy what it happened. So it's okay. You can, guys. So for the videos, I feel like when you make like video very creative, this will be like represent yourself. So this like show who you are. So you can like focus on the videos on the skills that you have, the strong skills that you have. For example, in my videos, I focus on make like creative things. So I show this in my videos. So you can like focus on your strengths. So what you have, so the people around you like always say you are very strong in this. So you can show this in your videos. Like you can like present yourself and your skills in your videos. You can show like, or you're in the application in general, not only the videos. So this is the first step. You don't need the tips from us. So we are different, but you have to focus on your skills and the strengths that you have, what you have, and what you want to show for Rise stuff to like choose you to as a winner. So or what you have that you say that this will be or make me like winner. So this is the first one. Okay. I think yeah, it's okay.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Okay, Manuela, final parting thought, 1 minute.
Okay, so I'll just say to everyone on this call that the sky is your limit. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And that's actually one of my favorite quotes by Henry Ford. And I think that's what kept me going throughout this Rise journey. And I think that should keep you going as well. Don't relent. And please, like Greg said, keep the deadline at the back of your mind as you are doing your project so that you don't do all the work and then end up not submitting at the end of the day. My advice for me to use is going to be authentic. Don't try to act like what you're not, especially when you're making your videos. Just show your true self and just hope for the best. Yeah. So I think, yeah, that's all.
Awesome. No, that was great. And I like that you highlighted the deadline. And Adenor.
The only thing I can say is just take the initiative. Don't be afraid of maybe not getting liked by others. Because the thing is that in my cohort in year 2, there are 100 people with different experiences, different aspirations, and different likes, interests, but we are all together in this. We were all together in during the summit, and we are still all together in our WhatsApp group chat. We are still laughing at the same jokes. We are still celebrating things like maybe New Year's, but we still did different things, and we are still doing different things. So just be yourself and just really just be yourself. I mean, on open mic night, I really dance a lot, and I also use this in my application, but it's just me. So don't be afraid and don't be embarrassed. They just want to see you.
Yes, don't be afraid, pursue your passion, keep an open mind, don't forget the deadline. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all the winners. Thank you, Emanuela. Thank you, Adnor. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Lauren and Kay, my colleagues who are on in the background. And we'll be hosting another session next week, which you can feel free to join. It will be for a different time zone, but it's open to all. Everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your day and evening and night, wherever you are. Thank you.